My name is John Casto. I was born in Charleston, West Virginia, raised in St. Albans, graduate of Marshall University, Southern College of Optometry, class of 1960. That sounds like almost 1860s, I'm sure. Spent 3 years in the United States Army Military Hospital in Verdun, France. Married to my current wife of 59 years. Still living in St. Albans, have 3 children and 9 grandchildren. Came back to practice here in West Virginia in 1963. Became involved in the optometric profession, particularly the inner workings of it, and felt like that if I was going to spend a lifetime practicing optometry, that I wanted to be a part of what the profession is going to do. And so I became involved in the officership. Started out with the local group, which was called the Canal Valley Optometric Society at the time. Then moved up to area chairman and area officers, and then through the state chairs. I was president of the WVOA at the time, WVAOP now, in 1976. That was the year we passed the optometric bill, allowing therapeutic legislation in West Virginia. After that, became involved with the AOA's statutory definition scope of practice committee. Had the privilege of visiting and helping the states of Maryland and North Carolina and Mississippi and Kentucky and Alabama on their legislative issues at the time. And then in 1984, I became president of the Southern Council of Optometry in Atlanta, Georgia. Spent the next 25 years on various committees with Southern Council, Education Committee to start with, Exhibits Committee later, Bylaws Committee Chairman.
Okay, I'm Ray Williams, and I practice in Americus, Georgia. I'm still practicing. We have a group practice of partners, so we have 5 optometrists and 1 ophthalmologist in our office. Remembering West Virginia, and it was West Virginia, you're correct about that. It was just great news for us to hear that. For me, I practiced 2 years in the Army. Right after we got out of college, most of our class ended up in the Army. We had to in the Vietnam War. And we were able to use diagnostic drugs in the Army, and I could see how great it was, you know. And to get out and then you can't use them was pretty bad. So I was very much wanting to see the optometrists in Georgia be able to use drugs, diagnostic drugs, and that was the first thing we passed. And it took us, I think, I can't recall, but I want to say about 6 years to get that passed. I mean, we were defeated. We had to all shell out a lot of money. We had to really, at first, I remember our districts convincing the optometrists in Georgia we really needed that. I remember I took off several days and I'd go in my district and talk to local optometrists and say, you know, we need to get behind this. We need to talk to our legislators. We need to contribute. And they said, well, you know, I don't know if we really need this or not. You know, I don't think it's that important. So it was convincing the ODs that we needed it was part of the process. And then doing the footwork and being persistent. And I can recall, you know, having been defeated and just thinking, well, will we ever get this passed? But we finally did, and then several years later we did the same thing with the therapeutic law. It took us several years again, and I don't recall, probably 5 or 6, and then later oral medications. So yes, West Virginia, we're proud of West Virginia and being the first one to implement this and get it started. Now, on to bigger things.
Well, my recollection, yes, West Virginia is one of the giants, and John Castro is a giant amongst giants. And there were other people in that state, Doug Conrad, others I can't remember. We were in Arkansas, so we were sort of watching all this happen, getting our ducks in a row to follow along, even though our board of examiners in Arkansas said, nah, we never need drugs, man, the optometrist is a drugless profession, we don't need drugs. And us younger guy was saying, well, you're crazy from hell, you know, if we don't get drugs, we're not going to be in practice. Now this was even before Medicare was passed.
Yes.
But, and most all states first passed diagnostics, and then they came back when they were successful with that, and the legislators saw that we weren't killing people, then they said, well, let's let them practice according to their level. And we from Arkansas brought several of our legislators from Arkansas over here when this school was first built, the big building, not the one, the old, and gave them and the states around, all the states, not just Arkansas, but gave them a magnificent tour and an education of what we were all about and what we could do and what our training was. As ophthalmologists try to tell them, all they can do is fit a pair of glasses and maybe a pair of contacts. That's it. Don't even let them put water in the eye. No, you know, back then they had stuff like Preferin or, you know, over the counter. No, they can't even do that. All they can do is do the manual stuff. Well, the rest, you know, is history now, fortunately, because if we had not got the diagnostic pharmaceuticals, the therapeutic, you know, that's half or more of our practice, and we would have been out of business. So we wouldn't have had a profession.
I am Kyle Abshire. I am from Orange Park, Florida. I practice in Orange Park, Florida, but I'm originally from West Virginia. I still maintain the West Virginia Board of Optometry after 50 years, and I plan to continue, so maybe one of these days I'll return back home and go into practice. In Florida, our therapeutic drug bill came up before the legislature, and it passed the legislature, and the governor of Florida vetoed the bill. The next year, it came up before the legislature again, and I got 33 of my optometric friends and ophthalmology friends together to contribute $1,000 apiece to have dinner at my house with the governor of Florida. The governor did come to my home. We had a terrific dinner, a terrific meeting, and he didn't, well, after we explained exactly what the drug bill was, he understood better. So, but he was lobbied heavily by the medical society, and he didn't, politically, I don't think he felt it was correct for him to sign the bill. So he let the bill pass without signing it, and therefore our therapeutic bill became law. So thanks to my friends that contributed the money and spent the evening with the governor, we got our therapeutic bill passed. Thank you. My regards to Doug Conrad. I have great memories of him.
Didn't you all pass the diagnostic first, though, before you went to therapeutic?
Well, we had diagnostic first. I don't remember if that was legislated or not. So, and now, of course, we have orals also.
Yeah.
Now, where in West Virginia did you grow
I grew up in Jumping Branch, West Virginia, right out of Beckley, on a farm. Loved it. I am West Virginia's best ambassador. I tell everybody the state is so beautiful, it should be turned into a resort. The entire state should be turned into a resort.
I agree.
It is so beautiful,
Much like
and I miss it.
Arkansas.
Well, I think that when West Virginia and Louisiana passed their laws, it gave a impetus to the other states to go to work with their legislatures and pass similar laws. When I graduated, you could use no diagnostic or therapeutic drugs at all. And quite frankly, it was a very limiting thing. The trend now is to go more toward the medical, which I think is great because I think it just expands our practice. But I don't think that we should ever leave the basics, the basic refraction, the basic theories of optometry and therapy. I don't see it as one or the other. I see it as an expansion of what we can do, an expansion of the service that we can give our patients. How it has impacted my practice, I do nothing but medical now. It's been fun. Would I go back and do it again? I don't know. But there were times that I felt like I lived in Little Rock more than I lived in Paragould. But it's been a great thing. It's allowed optometry to grow. We have wanted to be a primary care group from the very start, and this has enabled us to really be a primary care group.
In summary, enjoyed every minute of it, and encourage anybody who's going to practice this profession to get themselves involved and become a part of the history and the progress of the profession.
Hello, I'm Louis Reich, President of Southern College of Optometry. As SCO's President, it's my privilege to send greetings to members of the West Virginia Optometric Association during your annual fall meeting. I'm sorry I couldn't attend myself. SCO has enjoyed a long relationship with West Virginia. A special note, it was 40 years ago when West Virginia led the way in broadening the scope of practice for optometry. We are grateful to those optometrists. I would also like to recognize Dr. John Casto, class of 1960, and SCO Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. SCO continues to benefit from the advances that you and your state help make happen. Today's students are more committed than ever to practicing optometry at the highest level. On behalf of our students and faculty and the entire SCO community, we thank the alumni and other ODs in West Virginia who continue to lead the way. To our alumni and those friends who know young people interested in optometry, I'd love to show you the campus the next time that you're in Memphis. Great things are happening at SCO. We're looking forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Congratulations, WVAOP. On behalf of the AOA Board of Trustees and every AOA doctor and student across America, as well as the tens of millions of patients we serve, I am proud to salute the West Virginia Association of Optometric Physicians for your great and historic tradition of pioneering leadership for our profession. It is an honor for me to join with you in observing the 40th anniversary of the enactment of the first in the nation law that has done so much to advance our profession and place us firmly on the front lines of medical care. As the daughter of an OD at the time, I know how your successful veto override win in 1976, overcoming as you did the worst type of fear-mongering and vicious attacks, inspired our entire profession and helped launch optometry's modern age of advancement and ever-advancing patient care. Let's all take rightful pride in the fact that every day over the last 40 years, all of us have done our part to prove the opponents of the 1976 bill wrong. Moreover, since that day in Charleston when the votes were counted, we've built on the WVAOP's achievement and gone on to write waves of new patient-centered laws in state capitals across the country and, of course, in Washington, D.C., that recognize our physician-level education and skills. The WVAOP's history, like that of our profession, is rich and important. But I know, too, that you've continued to look ahead and to prepare for the battles yet to come. Please know that the AOA stands with you as your 24/7, 365 advocacy and practice growth partner, and that together we will continue to be a nationwide force for health and vision. To Dr. Rebecca St. Jean, the President, and Dr. Melissa Leone, the President-elect, as well as to the entire WVAOP board, the volunteers and the entire membership, as well as Chad Robinson, your dedicated Executive Director, I want to say that I share your happiness on this wonderful occasion and sincerely thank you for all that you do to continue to provide advocacy leadership for optometry. Although my travels this year as AOA President don't include a visit to West Virginia, please know that this New Yorker looks forward to a future drive down country roads well before we celebrate your law's golden anniversary.